this one will work. I gotta figure it out. Let's see if y'all come on over. What's up? We waiting to see if they're gonna come back. Because it was not working. Hi, PGA. Hi, MT. Hi, Melissa. What was going on? Was y'all typing? You hanging out? Okay, PGA. Melissa, MT. Was y'all typing in the chat? Because nothing was being said. I don't know what happened. I think YouTube didn't like me talking about what I was talking, the court stuff and all that. They real sensitive over here, which is crazy to me because I'm like, you got whole political channels. Well, I left because like I know I was on the whole time, but for whatever reason, the chat was like not moving. Oh, right. I don't think I was able to see what y'all was putting. Yeah, I didn't see ones or nothing. That's why I was just like, what is going on? So, PGA, I do be here around this time. On Thursdays, 8:12, I do be here. You've been missing in action. I thought you had went on somewhere else. Hey, TW. I don't know if this is the second attempt, TW, for live today. So I don't know if you was on the first one. Oh, thanks, PGA. I don't know what was going on. Hopefully everybody will come back over here. Because we had about 15 people in there, it said. So go ahead and everything that y'all was putting in the text. I mean in the chat. Oh, you came in late. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. My YouTube channel I don't know. It is very sensitive. Like you cannot talk about certain things. So yeah, y'all share y'all wins and the question of the day, just basically talking about how we are halfway done with 2025. The things that you said you wanted to accomplish this year, have you accomplished them? Are you still working towards them? Have you given up, because you think, oh, we halfway down, I'll just wait till 2026, things of that nature. So, but, so then y'all heard everything I said, so I don't have to repeat it. But while y'all typing, I do plan to record content tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Saturday. I think y'all will get a kick out of it. I saw that this movie, I don't want to give it away because I want y'all to have a real good laugh. If everything goes as planned, I want y'all to have a real good laugh at the very beginning of the video. But I had saw that a movie was coming out and it made me start thinking about some stuff that I had heard when I was a JW. And so I end up getting an outline together. So I thought I was going to be able to do it today, but I was on the phone with doctors and this and that, or whatever. So probably tomorrow, because my husband will be home, so the dogs won't be bugging me the whole time. So Melissa said, my win is I worked on the backyard DIY project and it came out pretty good. I was high-fiving it myself and everything. I'm not going to say, Melissa, I ain't going to say. You just have to wait and see what the video going to be about. You have to wait and see. You have to wait and see. So I don't know if y'all noticed, but as much as I be having the best of intentions lately, trying to kind of balance out all the things that's going on in my life, I went from being able to get up like 2 long form videos a week to now it seems like I'm averaging about 1. I'm hoping, after next week, I'll be able to go back to 2. So I ain't purposely trying to put out less. It's just that I've been trying to, kind of balance things out. Yeah, because it's just been a lot going on with this clinic. Let's see. MT says still a work in progress, but definitely achieving small goals by joining a book club. Yes, we have a good time in the book club. Definitely out of my comfort zone and still looking for a new job by the end of the summer. Okay. Yep. So that's good. Delta Chicken. Hello. Esty said, I'm back. Hi, Esty. I don't know what was going on. PGA, I can't tell you because if I tell you, then all the other people will know. All the other people will know. But PGA, do you watch my other content? I know you come over here to the lives, but do you watch the long form videos? But I think you all will get a kick out of it. I ain't about to be doing full blown skits and things like that. But every now and again you got to mix up your content. So let's see. TW said I replaced an old printer that was no longer getting firmware updates. I connected my new printer via the Ethernet, not Wi-Fi. The old 13-year-old printer was a gateway for hackers. Oh boy. All right. Got you some new technology in there. So, TW, can you explain what is it Ethernet, not Wi-Fi? Does that mean like you plug it right into the internet, or is that something else? So that's good. I like I said, I'm moving the needle. I'm really proud of myself. I'm moving the needle in many ways, especially with the clinic. Like I say, I got the memberships up. So I think you can join. I think you just, I think it's a button on on the videos. I could be wrong, y'all. So I still have to figure it out. But the way it seemed, it was like it's live. I don't know. But by next week, I plan to have it all kind of figured out because we spending some time with my brother and he way more techie, so he probably could help me a lot quicker. Okay, that's the actual way you like plug it right into the internet. Okay. Okay. Got you. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, everything is like on the Wi-Fi now, right? With the router and all that stuff. So if anybody else has any updates in regards to their 2025, so like for me, like I say, the 75 soft has definitely helped me establish the habit of being somebody who exercises on a regular basis. I'm just going to do it a little bit differently. I'm reading more and more research. Weight resistance is important, especially for like a woman like me who's knocking at the door of menopause. But I don't know if heavy weights is for me personally. But I definitely know I need to do some weight resistance as well as some low impact type stuff, like Pilates and yoga and stuff like that to get toned and things of that nature. So I'm going to continue to work on that, continue to work on my pickleball game. and continue to get this clinic up and, popping and profitable. Um, and that's it, obviously, and continue to grow the channel and get better over here. Um, each and every day. It'll be 1 year, October 3rd, since I started the channel. So kind of exciting to see where it will be. What's this, July, August, September. So basically what, in 90 days, right? Wait, yeah, July, August, September, October. Yeah, we got like 3 more months and it'll be a year. So it'll be pretty cool. Let's see. Hi, C. Thank you, TW. Denise says, who got some more sisters and elders? Just curious. They probably both equal. MT said she feels sisters gossip more. Elders are pretty bad in the gossip category. MT, really? MT, yeah, whenever I'd be out in service, they always had something to say about someone. Now, that's true. As the elders were always telling my husband, yeah. I would say that's an even Steven, in my opinion, because they both do. Now, who would most people know gossip is the sisters, but most people wouldn't probably believe that the elders do, but they do. Because if they didn't, a lot of people wouldn't necessarily know things that they shouldn't know, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, more toxic and private than what the sisters tell. Yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Is anybody going out of town this weekend? Yeah, even if you wasn't in the so-called in group, Esty, somebody, I'm sure around you was gossiping. Yes. Oh, there's no more stuff. Do y'all see these icons next to y'all name? Like top fans? I think that's what that means. I don't know if that's from me doing the membership or not. You staying in town? I think it's just a way to recognize you. I was still trying to figure out. It's a lot to memberships, like a lot of cool benefits that I never really, I guess, paid attention. But like I told you, this YouTube channel, you learn something new every day. So I'm thinking it has something to do with that. Or it could be I did reach a milestone of 10,000 watch hours, I think last week. So they, sent me a congratulations kind of email or whatever. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. But it's kind of cool, right? So Denise said, I'm staying in town. The summer seems odd to me. What you mean? This summer or summer period? TWT, how do you prepare to give your YouTube JW presentations? As far as my videos, so first of all, I end up coming up with an idea, right, or something. So like I had other stuff planned regarding JW content and non-JW content. But then I had saw this commercial about this movie coming soon. I was like, oh man, I should do something about that. And so then what I'll do is, how can I put my spin on it? Because if y'all haven't noticed, I feel like I'm in a unique lane. Like I don't come heavy with like scriptures and things of that nature or busting down the doctrines and stuff like that. I talk about what I consider practical, real stuff that that could have impacted you from that experience, kind of approach. So I try to bring content the way, I would want to watch it. But I love everybody's stuff. Everybody, has something to add. So once I decide on what I'm gonna do, what's the angle, I use Chat GPT now. I used to be trying to figure all this stuff out myself, but now I use Chat. And so I'll say, hey Chat, I want to do a video about blah 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 blah, you know, da 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 da. And then Chat will say, you know, give me some feedback like that's great, it's relatable, it's this and that. And Chat may give me an outline suggestion. And so from there, I may say, okay, Chat, um, this is what I plan to say for the beginning of the video. These are the points that I, da da da, blah blah blah. So I take what Chat say plus what I think, and then I kind of create a final outline. Sometime, if you have watched the video, sometime I just got the points in my head and I can just speak because I'm trying to, I guess what they call do a talking head. But sometimes I'm like, no, I need to read this from my notes, and so I read it from my notes. So, but that's usually how I do it. Like with the most recent videos, when I was watching JW Thoughts, I think he showed a good amount of that apostate video that they had going around for the convention. Excuse me, y'all. And I think I might have watched his video twice, or he might have did like a similar video with the video in it. And I was like, wait a minute, this video is sending out messages to different people about different stuff. And so from there, I kind of do the same kind of process. But like coming up with the titles, coming up with the thumbnails, I always will ask Chat unless I already got an idea in my head. I'll say, hey Chat, I'm thinking about this as the thumbnail for this video. And I'll see what Chat say, And so far, if you notice, I feel like the quality of my thumbnails have improved, and that's because I am using Chat to say, what do you think, or what do you suggest? And so, I think AI can be a great tool. I mean, that's what I use. Just like with my marketing, my emails, and things of that nature, Chat has made my life so much simpler because I used to have to do all that stuff from scratch, So it's like having a little handy dandy, like a Batman to, a Robin to your Batman kind of thing. Oh, okay, Esty, yes. Yes. I feel like I'm unique. I feel like I'm unique in that sense because at least right now, I haven't come across many channels of adult converts who left. Most channels are, people who grew up in it, right? Or like I say, grew up in it. Either they were born in and raised, or maybe their parents or whoever came in and they were really young and raised in it. Yes, Chat is my sidekick. D. Let's see, Denise said, do you sometimes feel angry that you gave your time and energy to JW organization? Absolutely. I not angry as much. I had mentioned this, I've mentioned this before. Sometimes I do have moments of shame, like I have 4 degrees, I've had 2 careers, I'm an entrepreneur, I consider myself street savvy, growing up on the south side of Chicago, things like that. And it's like, how did I let myself get sucked into this? So I do still have moments of shame. Like, obviously, I don't have shame to the point where I can't come out and tell my story, right? On social media or a platform like this or in person, talking to somebody. but sometimes just internally, I do have shame. I was angry at, you know, early in the awakening process, fading process, I guess you could say, because it's like y'all lied to me, you know, like I would ask y'all these questions and y'all would, you know, make me feel like I was crazy for asking them, you know, kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't think I'm angry now. Mm-mm. I just have moments of shame. Like I, my heart goes out to many witnesses. Like today, this morning, last night, and this morning, I was texting probably. I only feel like I have maybe 2 friends who are still witnesses. Do they know about this channel? I don't think so. Um, if they found out about this channel, do I think that the friend that I was texting with would stop talking to me? I don't think I think she would continue to. Um, and just had the, you know, attitude like that's just how she feel, you know. Because right now we don't talk about Kingdom Hearts stuff, you know. We were talking about Essence, you know, and how you know, because we used to go to Essence like almost every year together, and you know, I was like, Dad, every time around this time, I feel like I should be packing, getting ready for Essence, you know. And so we're just chit chatting, and you know, they was on their way out of town. So, but no, I don't think I feel angry no more, Denise. Let's see. TW said, T, I want your opinion. Which XJWs have it worse, born ins or adult converts? I think born ins for sure. TW, my heart goes out to everybody, right? But my heart really goes out to born ins, especially born ins who were 10 toes down, who were diehards, who, you know, did all the things, you know, was reaching out and things of that nature. And then to have, you know, the one, especially the ones who like entire families, you know, was witnesses. And now that they're faded or disfellowshipped or whatever the case may be, you know, those people like not having relationships with they family, you know, or like their friends. It's like it's sad. It really is sad. I'm very grateful that none of my family followed me in. You know, I'm glad that they all stood their ground and was like, "Hey, if you want to go be a Jehovah's Witness, that's all well and good, but I ain't." I may come to your little memorial here and there, but that's about it. Can I help you, sir? Huh? Come on. Come on. You too heavy. You want to say hi? Come on. Let me see. Can y'all see him? Kingston, say hi. Say hi. They worrisome. Okay, go lay down. Lord have mercy. They worrisome. Um, let's see. Okay, as he said, she feel the same way. And she said, I was raised in it and I feel like it took my freedom away at a very early age and I can't get that time back. Now that's true. Hey, hey Q, how are you? I guess I should be calling you 60 plus on here. I try to stay true to what the YouTube names say. Let's see, TW said, no one in my family was a JW, so leaving was easier for me. Yeah, TW, we're in the same boat with that. D, yes, in retrospect, it never felt welcoming. I never saw my mom act like she was on eggshells until we dealt with them. Yeah, I can believe that. Hey, yeah, everything is good. Missed you Monday, but figured you had things going on. Hopefully, you got the replay for a book club. Hopefully, you have a good weekend too. TW chat. When you left the JWs, did the elders visit you to try to make you return? Kind of, sorta. When when I decided I wasn't going back to the Kingdom Hall, you know, I had married my husband. So the confrontation at the Kingdom Hall might have been in March, and I got married in April. So between the time of the last time I was at the Kingdom Hall and getting married in late April, I did get several calls, you know, Jehovah's not pleased, please do not marry this man. They didn't know nothing about him, didn't ask, you know, they did ask if I was having sex. Now I was good and grown, I was 42. And I don't know if I shared this in my videos. My husband, the phone was on speaker, and my husband, oh my God, he was so mad. He was so mad, and I'm just like, you know, don't say nothing, like, you know. But like when I started thinking about that stuff in hindsight, oh my God, I was just like, this is unbelievable. Yep. So I did have that happen, and then so when did I get married? 2017. Yeah, 2017 because it's 2025, right? That's 8 years. So was it had to be 2021 when we moved in this house. They wanted to call. I'm thinking like, I've been gone since 2017. Why is y'all calling now? You know? And they asked me, well, why don't you go to the Kingdom Hall? And I said, because I don't want to. And they both were shook, like, and it was like, okay, you know, they said some more stuff and they got the phone, and I haven't heard from them since. So I think they got the message. Like, leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Uh, oh boy. It's probably, you know what? I was saying 60 plus. I was saying earlier, I said, this been a crazy week. This been a crazy week. It's like it's one of them weeks where it's been a long week and a short week at the same time. So who knows? Maybe the moon is in in some kind of cycle or something. Let's see. Esty, you know, I was spied on, harassed, never opened the door. That's crazy, Esty. I hear you. They definitely stalk folks. They do. They're not as bad as Scientology, but they will if they feel that they can, especially if they think that if they can, you know, have a good chance of getting you to come back. All right, TW said, a real story. I pulled out of my driveway and an elder came out of nowhere and wanted to talk. I said, I don't have time for that. I know that's right. I bet you are. I bet you are glad to be out tomorrow. Let's see. It's either owns is like the mafia. Yes, indeed, y'all. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Shout out to the people who came over on the live, who I think is this their first time. We be over here on Thursdays. I just established the membership, so if you decide to join, I think it's the level 2 membership. We're going to be having members only lives, and so that is not public, right? So we can really, really have the kind of conversation we want to have, because when it's live like this, we have to kind of keep it cute, because YouTube will start freezing the chat and things of that nature, and then it just makes for a bunch of mess. So yes, Scientology is crazy. I don't know what this little thing is. But you know what? The Leah Remedy show, that's what made me put two and two together, that, oh my God, I've just been in a cult. I just spent time in the cult. Excuse me, because I looked at what do they call it? Oh God, now I can't think of, but like JWs have disfellowship in, Scientology has dang, I can't remember what they have, but they have the equivalent of this fellowship, right? Um, they kind of have a tier system, right? Um, so do witnesses, right? They definitely got the spy, right? Um, connection. I plan on doing a video about this. Um, I was thinking, who is it? Mormon witnesses, 7-day Adventists. I think they all spring from what is called the Millerites. The Millerites. And it's so interesting because when you kind of look at those three, um, certain aspects, are all the same. So I had a thought, I was like, that would probably make for an interesting video. Because it's a 7-day Adventist community out there on YouTube. I watched some of those videos. I definitely watched ex-Mormon videos. And I think those three religions, if I'm not mistaken, all kind of come out of the Millerites. I think that was the name of the religion. It's crazy out here. Yes, TW, but also I want to make that available here. So I don't ever want to take away this for members only. Even though I have seen some people do that, but I was just like, I've built, a community here in the public forum. So I wouldn't want to take that away. So that's one of the things I plan on test running when I get with my brother. My husband be home tomorrow. Maybe he can help me tackle it. Because I also want to start doing the live streams through my computer, but I can use my Osmo Pocket 3 camera as a webcam. So I'm working, y'all. Give me just a little bit more time. I promise you it's gonna be worth it. So I think the way the call-in works, right? So I would drop a link and you can click that link. So I think you can have it where you might have maybe 4, 5, 6 people at a time. But then like if somebody from the chat wanted to come and say something, then somebody has to kind of drop off and just kind of go back into the chat part. So obviously in the public live, people who are members would be the people who get to, have access to the link. And then people who are not members, they would just, be limited to typing out in the chat. That's how I see people doing it. So I'm assuming that's how it goes when you're using like a streaming platform. So I already bought the streaming platform. I bought Restream. I just got to do it. I got to sit down and figure it out. So my to-do list tomorrow, I'm working on a guide to go with the new programs that I'm rolling out. So I have to get all that information over, helping me write that and create it and all that stuff. So that and the Restream and my mama's birthday tomorrow. But we're going to do the birthday trip the following week. But I got to, start getting all that stuff together. So just hold on, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. Let's see. Denise said, what have you done now, but would have never done if you were still a JW? What have you done now, but would have never done if you were still a JW? That's a good question, Denise. Let's see if anybody answered it. Yep, I saw that too with Leah. Disconnection. Yeah, that's what it's called. Thanks, Esty. Oh, Lord. Oh, you know what? I thought this was somebody else. Sorry, Damon. I thought you was somebody else. They came out around the same era of time and talked with each other back in the day. Yeah, I could tell. TW. The 3 stages of JW life. Before baptism, you can ask anything. You sure can. Number 2, after baptism, you are eligible for mistreatment. Number 3, this fellowship shunned if you disagree with governing body. TW, you a mess. Damon, I was one from, I got baptized when I was 30, about to turn 31. So I guess you could say technically 31 to 42. So about 11 years. I left when I was 42. I know STTW a mess, right? It's gonna be fun, Melissa, because not only will we do the exclusive XJW lives, but we're gonna do some lives, just for the ladies, because there's things I want to talk about. But I know like TW, Cool Sense, Leo, some of the guys who come over here on a regular basis, they don't want to hear about us and what we talking about as women. So to give us a chance to, kind of talk openly about, issues that women face. You know what, Damon? They kind of loosely mention it, but I remember asking when we got to that part about like being disfellowshipped or whatever, and my Bible instructor was like, "Oh, that wouldn't, you'll be fine. Just keep doing what Jehovah say, and you won't." And I was like, "Yeah, but what if I have a low moment, and what if I do something? Am I gonna be disfellowshipped for one mistake? Like it sounds like it erases all the good deeds that I did." And she didn't want to kind of hear that. So she just kind of, oh, it'll be okay, da 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 da. And I'm just like, she's like, the brothers are very loving, you might just get reproved. But she kind of whitewashed it. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it ain't that bad. And then sitting back in as an adult, hearing that these teenagers and what they're doing, and then they never got in trouble. But then, of course, I learned once I left, the reason I didn't get in trouble was because their daddies was elders. They constantly kept getting a little slap on the wrist, da 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 da, until it got to the point where they had a certain CO saying, "Hey, it's time to disfellowship your kids," because it was some elders' kids in there. They was the heathens. TW said he plead the fifth, Damon. Wow, I was born in H3. Oh wow. When did you leave, Damon? What book did they have? High Grow. So Denise asks, what do I do now that I wouldn't do as a witness? Be on YouTube talking about to be honest, I probably would not have become an MP. Just because I got so much pushback when I became a nurse, so then I probably would have just got straight out just attacked. Like, why are you going to get an advanced degree? Like, you have it good. You work 3 days a week, 12 hours, you should be trying to pioneer versus going back to get yet another degree. So that's probably something that I probably would not have done. To be honest, had I not met my husband, I may not be an MP. I wasn't super satisfied, didn't feel fulfilled as an RN like I thought I would be. And so my husband kept saying, you need to go back to MP school. Because when we got married, I had just started. That March and we got married that April. And so I went to school from March to October, but then I was just tired because it's like I'm dealing with, getting this witness guilt off of me. I'm working at a job that is really lowballing me, but the schedule is conducive for a newly married person, so that we could spend time together and not be, ships in the night passing, right? So I took a break. And so was fortunate to, find like some work from home jobs and things of that nature and blah, blah, blah. But I just wasn't fulfilled. And I was like, and he's like, you need to go back to NP school. So I tell my husband all the time, I probably wouldn't have done it. I'll tell you what I'll probably be doing right now. I would have moved from Chicago, moved back to Atlanta. This was my plan. I was gonna move back to Atlanta, and I was gonna become a traveling nurse. And I was gonna make Atlanta, home. Probably would have lived with my cousin because I wouldn't have necessarily needed my own place if I was gonna be like going to California for 3 months or going here for 3 months. So it was like I would work 3 months, be off 3 months, work 3 months. So I only like I had it all planned out. Then my big head husband came along, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll stay. Let's see. Let me see. There I was getting reproved in disfellowship, and there was went to church. I left at 26. Okay. Denise, I play the lottery, buy scratch off tickets. I go to the casino. So, funny thing about that, I grew up in a gambling family, right? I knew how to play blackjack when I was like 6, right? So, gambling wasn't necessarily frowned upon in my family. We went to church on Sundays, and things of that nature. But I had stopped going to the casino here in Chicago. We call it the boat because that's what they used to be, river boats, before they became like stationary casinos. I had stopped going because I started realizing that whether I lost $2 or $200, I would feel bad. And so I was like, so I need to stop going. And I'm gonna tell you, the last time I had went, I I had went by myself. I used to go by myself a lot, especially once I had moved out of my mama's house. And I was going to get more money out the ATM, right? Because I'm like, oh, this machine gonna hit. And I remember looking around, and it was people pulling out like chicken wings and bread in like aluminum foil. And I was like, you know what? We all crackheads right now. The difference is I'm a functioning crackhead because I can afford my addiction and they can't. Like that's how it like that's the thought I had. And that was the last time I went in a casino for a very, very long time. So I was maybe 26, 27. And I was like, they can have that. Um, but then like 2018, 2019, I think we went to Vegas and I played a little bit. But that this machine gonna hit kind of feeling, I don't do that no more. Like next week, we taking my mom to we was gonna go to Vegas, but we decided not to do that because it was like more expensive. My husband getting his time, and my brother, he's an entrepreneur as well. So we're gonna stay a little bit kind of local in the Midwest. And so I'm gonna take a little bit of money to gamble with, but I ain't taking nearly as much money as old T would have took. But I do play scratch off and I do play the lottery because a sister would love to, get debt free before she's 52. I don't go crazy with it. I don't go crazy with it. I don't think like for lottery tickets, like the little lotto and stuff like that, I may spend $3 and I only play it when it's a certain thing. But I don't play the megas and powers no more. They want $5, all that. Mm-mm. I play scratch offs. I've done okay. I've never won huge money, maybe a couple of $100. I don't think nothing wrong with it if you long as it don't get you. So let's see. TW said, if I got hit by a truck, I would now take blood transfusion. On second thought, I would have taken blood as JW. Just telling the truth. Da, da, da. To you from Chicago. I'm Emily Hammond. Oh yeah, I'm from Chicago. Yep. Very, very close to Hammond. Very close to East Chicago. I enjoyed the casino too. much. So I stopped 6 years ago and plan to never go back. Money was never the issue. I could afford it. Wasting money is not my thing. Right. Like that's how I got I knew when I was like, whether it was $2 or 200, I would still feel like crap. Cause I'm like, man, I could have got a burger with that $2, or I could have did this with that $2, But oh, really, to be going on a regular basis. But we're going and we're gonna have a good time. So like the first night we kind of doing like a birthday celebration. So, you know, that'll be in the evening. After that, if people want to go downstairs and gamble or whatever they can, the next day we'll probably go like shopping and out to eat. We'll be at the casino, but I'm not trying to have the experience just be gambling, gambling, gambling. A little fun. My mom will be 70 tomorrow, so um, she like me, kind of low key. You know, don't necessarily need a whole lot of bells and whistles and stuff. So it should be good. Absolutely. Oh, Tito, you remember when I worked at the when I mentioned that? Thank you, 60 plus. I will let her know. She's a 4th of July baby. Um, yes. Um, yeah, I could. I was like I say, special. I mean, cause they was coming to my table. I never forget this. It was a married couple. Husband was I think he was like a assistant fire chief or whatever. Like he was more than just a regular fireman at the station. But I don't think it was like his fire station. So maybe like assistant or something like that. So his wife worked. She was a supervisor for postal system. She come in. Now, mind you, I think like 2 nights before they was at my table, both of them, and they had kind of got down bad. They might have moved around or whatever. But so 2 days later, here come the wife. And she said, I told him I was on my way to Western Union, the mortgage, because the other night she like, girl, we had messed up. We had lost it, but they end up winning it back some kind of way. So she's supposed to have been coming. She's supposed to have been taking her butt to pay the mortgage. Here she is at my table and had got down bad, then like had a good double down split kind of thing and got it. She's like, ooh, let me get out of here. Wasn't 20 minutes later, who walked in? Her husband. I was like, this is crazy. Y'all crazy. I had a young guy, probably in his 20s or 30s. His pole, now he said that was his mama, but I think it was his grandma. I don't even know if casinos still do this, but it was called a marker, right? So it basically was like a short-term loan that you could get from the casino, right? And it usually was based on your credit and how much you played. He had, I don't know if it had gotten inherited to him, but he had like maybe 30 rental properties. In a matter of 2 years, because of gambling, I think he was down to like 8. And I think those was just hanging on by a limb. He called his granny, mama, or whatever. She was old up there for a $10,000 marker because he couldn't get no more. Trying to win money, and she came up there, and it was so sad because she was just looking. It was like as if she was bringing money to the drug house for him to go in there and get drugs. But she did it. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And that really was the motivating factor of why I was like, let me get out of here. I'm telling you, towards the end of my time there, and it was good money. I was young. I was still living at home. My mama wasn't, asking me for rent. My mom, the type of person, like, if my kids going to work, going to school or whatever, my mortgage ain't gonna change because they in the house, things like that. And I still would, kick her off a little something, but she's more concerned with like stack your money so that when you go, you ain't got to come back, kind of thing. I didn't forget what I was about to say. Oh, so towards the end, I was like, Jesus gonna come back, and I'm in here dealing cards. I used to say that all the time in my head, like, Jesus gonna come back, and I'm sitting in here dealing cards. And they could smoke, so I would go home smelling like a big old cigarette. I'm like, I'm gonna mess around with lung cancer because I'm trying to deal cards, Then I would sit up there and be thinking, like, do we have metal detectors? Because sometimes when these people get down bad, they be tripping, They never call me out my name, but they would direct their anger because they losing towards me. I ain't doing nothing but dealing these cards and counting the numbers. I know that people think that ain't no button under the table, ain't none of that. Let's see, what's that? I'm open to wanting to get a tattoo, but scared of the pain at the same time. Yeah, you know what? I don't have no tattoos, but I'll let y'all in on a little secret. I got a little bit of it's called powder brows, so it's similar to a tattoo process. So that's what I have on my eyebrows, and so it was like a tattoo. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. And she kind of put some numbing on there, so it just kind of makes my eyebrows look, I guess, full. Because when I was little, I took an automatic tweezer and plucked the hairs out. It's crazy. All right, MT. Good night. Enjoy your weekend. Oh yeah, absolutely, TW. You know what? Because of my time as a dealer, I don't play the tables. I just don't. Because, like, especially like blackjack. Blackjack is, in theory, it's a us against the dealer, us against the house. So sometimes you have people who don't understand that, and they want to hit their 16. And things like that. And it can mess the whole table up because the person is thinking in my head, like, if you see that the dealer got a 5 or a 6, you assume it's a face card or a 10 under there. Let them bust instead of you busting. It's a little bit more strategy. So with slots, it's just you and this computer chip. So sometimes I'd rather just sit at the slot and play, you know. And I don't be want to talk to people. I think I didn't told y'all this. The older I have gotten, the more I've become like my dad. I can only people so much. I can only people so much. Y'all get the winning at the table. Now people want to be like, then they all drunk. You might want to be bothered. Let's see. Yeah, I remember that. I used to love Martin. So, all right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up. Maybe another 5 minutes or so, because I gotta go exercise. Because I decided to do this 75 soft, and I'm super committed. Let's see. TW said the casino I used to go to had heavy smoking. I got smoked out, so staying away was easy. Yes. Oh, I would just smell like a big cigarette. It would be all in my hair, all in my uniform, all on my skin. And I was like, I'm gonna end up with lung cancer because I'm in here dealing these cards. That's exactly what I used to think and say. But yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one, Denise. I plan to do a video that includes a little bit about that. But when I was a witness, and it would be like them big, crazy, like mega Powerball jackpots, I would be like almost pressuring, but not pressuring. Um, my mom, my best friend, and my cousin. And I'd be like, "Ooh, did y'all see the million, the mega millions is 900 million? Y'all gonna play?" Like, because I was like, I can't go play, right? I'm trying to be a good witness, so I can't go play. But hey, if my mama win and my mama just want to help me out, then I'm gonna just say that's a blessing from Jehovah. So I used to always make sure the people that I felt like if they won that kind of money would really like, make sure I'm good, get me to zero, buy me a house. Like I ain't expecting to live how they live, but hey, if you can get me to zero and maybe get me a house, if I want a new house, then we good. But yeah, I crack myself up thinking about stuff that I used to do, you know, trying to finagle around the rules, right? Like, well, I didn't play, but hey, if my mom wins, why wouldn't I take the money? Yes, David, we had uniforms. So I worked at it was called the Empress then. It's called Horseshoe now. It's so funny. I had went to a concert not too long ago at the Horseshoe, and it's so different from when it was the Empress. Like, well, for one, the Empress was a literal boat, but yeah, it's just so different. It is so different. It was a good time. They used to, yeah, we had like a on-site cleaners. We got 3 uniforms, and you would just throw they had your code or whatever in your uniform, so you always had a fresh uniform. Um, um, and the food used to be really good, and so we used to pretty much could eat all day for like $1.75, I think it was. It was not a bad job to have as yeah, I was 21. Yeah, I was 21 when I started that. So I think I worked there from like 21 to 22ish. Because I left before I finished school. I finished my first degree in 1998. So that would make me 23. So yeah, I think I was like maybe almost 23 when I left the casino for good. I did not know who was working undercover security. I did not. Yeah, girl, I had it all thought out. I had it all thought out. Like, yes, my mama win, my cousin win, my best friend win. I was like, I'm straight. Just give me a meal. I'll make it work. But that's what I used to do. That's what I used to do when I was under the influence of the BS. Well, Damon, I wasn't a witness. I wasn't a witness when I worked at the casino. Yeah, I was not a witness at that time. I didn't become a witness until I was 30. So now I do know somebody who did. I mentioned this, I think, in one of my videos not too long ago, who she quit her job at the casino when she became a witness. And of course she was able to make it onto the big stage at the convention and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you a single mom with a child. I would have just delayed getting baptized until I had a job. But I don't know. I would love to know what happened to her. I wonder like how she's doing and things of that nature. But yeah, it's crazy. People will have you do some wild things, in the name of so-called religion. I know. That would be mind blowing. That would be mind blowing, TW. That'd be mind blowing. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get on off. I'm about to get them their melatonin and go get my 45 minutes in. Y'all have a good weekend. If you're not working tomorrow, if you celebrate the 4th, have a good time. Be safe. Here in Chicago, 4th of July weekend end up always being such a bad weekend with the shootings and stuff like that. And like yesterday, they had 18 people shot at some event. So y'all be careful because these fools will, be out, just at family functions, looking at the fireworks and stuff like that. So just keep y'all head on the swivel because it's crazy out here. But nonetheless, I hope y'all have a good weekend. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get that video up either tomorrow or Saturday. And I will work on membership. I will work on the streaming so that you all can, come up and talk versus typing. So I've enjoyed myself like always. And let me see, did I miss anything? D, appreciate you stopping by. Please, continue to come on over here on Thursdays. We have a good time. Yes, Q. You have a good weekend. See you Monday if you don't forget. Well, I understand. All right, TW. Good night. Melissa, good night. Melissa, I thought you said no, that was your sister that said she had to go. Yeah, they be guns at funerals. It's crazy. Yes, Chicago is wild. Yeah, it's off the chain, but I don't live in the city anymore. I live out in the suburbs, but that don't mean nothing, They bring the madness out here sometimes too, but that's just how it goes. So just pray that we all safe and we can meet here again and laugh and chop it up. So, like I said, I think the memberships is live. Go check it out if you feel obliged to join. Like I say, as that grow, we'll be able to do some exclusive lives just for members only, which would be nice. Which would be kind of nice. Even though the public live, I feel like is it's pretty what's niche, right? We don't get all these kind of weird one-offs anymore. But anyway, let me go exercise. All right, y'all. Peace.